Live on both YouTube and on Instagram. Okay, cool. So, anyway, zombie apocalypse has officially started. They closed the gyms down the end of last week, and that really threw a whole monkey wrench into a lot of people's things. And it took me a couple days to kind of figure out how to get over this because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this has like been massive for me. I've been kind of like playing around with anaerobics as a business idea for years now. Kind of trying to find my niche, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it, and I've really been like taking a stand now. Like this is anaerobics is officially my only source of income right now. I've really kind of like burnt the bridges, burnt the boats, cut all ties to basically everything else, and I was going full in. And basically it was basically like the concept was that a lot was based upon my personal fitness levels. A lot of this whole business was based upon that. People have been following me this year know that this was my year to get as big as I wanted to get, as strong as I wanted to get, and therefore as big as I wanted to get. I've achieved a lot of the strength goals that I had. For the first time in my life, my legs are strong. Like people in the gym are like impressed at the strength that I have in my squats. It's never been like that. Anybody who's been in the army knows you can't like kill yourself in the gym doing squats and then go ahead and do like, go run 10 miles the next day with you, go on a road march. So that's the reason a lot of it lagged. Just the fact that I had no experience with weightlifting, didn't know really how to train. My legs I've been neglecting my whole life, and then I went from not working out with weights at all for decades. I moved up to doing calisthenics, okay, which doesn't exactly build your legs. And now here I am. I've met my goal already. I did 2 sets of 4 reps for the last couple weeks with 405 pounds, 4 big plates on the squat bar. I didn't know it was humanly possible for me to do that. Then after that, I finished up with my one set of 20 squats with 3 plates with 315, which was killer. My trap bar deadlifts are up with 5 plates again for 5 reps for 2 sets. And of course, I'm doing my dips with 4 plates, which is 180 pounds. That's like, I'm not, that's obviously nothing that's going to win a street lifting championship, like they do in East Europe, where they have guys doing like pull-ups and dips with huge weights. I'm not a professional power lifter or an Olympic lifter, but the fact is, for like a guy with a YouTube channel and an Instagram account, 45 years old, not doing any crazy competitive stuff, and this is just one aspect of my life. That's like superhuman. That's something that it was like basically my year-end goal for this year, and I've reached it already. And then all of a sudden they closed the gyms down. So my point was like to get up to this level, then to get lean. So I'm like be like a 45-year-old guy who's strong as hell and who's lean. Like I look really good and I'm really strong. And I'm 45 years old. Where's your excuse? It's never too late. And that's basically like the basis of the brand that I was building. Was largely upon my physical, abilities, and then all of a sudden it broke down. So I'm hit just as hard as everybody else. Everybody right now. I mean, let's say, I know people where I live right now where they're in like this like service community. They do like massage therapy, they do chiropractic therapy, they do stuff like that. A friend of mine gave up everything he had. He had a thriving chiropractic practice here down in Florida, and he's moving into North Carolina with his girlfriend. They literally just got married. Literally just got married yesterday, and now he's going to have to move somewhere else. He has no clients. It's a completely different state, and he's going to have to build up his practice again. And it's a face-to-face, I touch you physically kind of thing. I guess he can put on a mask or whatever and gloves to, whatever, feel a guy up and set his joints back in place and crack his back or whatever. But in general, like I said, there are massage therapists that came down here to Florida to build their lives, and now all of a sudden they're screwed. So a lot of people are screwed, and I'm one of them. And so the thought was like, how do I get through this? So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about how I've dealt with like this awesome uncertainty. So first of all, it's kind of ironic that I got to absolutely my total top strength goals and then boom, they closed down the gym. Yes, I went ahead and ordered gym equipment, but it's going to take a while to get here. It's hard to get all the equipment. I'm going to have a hard time getting weights because all the weight plates are just gone. They're like gone from Amazon and stuff. It's really difficult to get the stuff. So the show must go on, and I did finally get my my home gym ordered, which is easy. Keep your head up, stay healthy. Thank you for everything. Steak and eggs video you made changed my life. Yeah, see that's thank you. I appreciate that. That's all you can do is just keep your head up. But anyway, so like I said, I got my weights coming on the way, but I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to get 8 weight plates for me to do my 400-pound squats again. So on one hand, it's kind of ironic that like I get up to this massive level of strength, and then all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled out from underneath me. But at the same time, it's like something I've learned is anything you can do again. Because I don't know how many times, like I had an elbow injury that kept me from doing weighted dips, and I started down way low, and I built all the way back up to using 4 plates again. And it helped me a lot to know that I had already been able to lift that amount of weight. I knew exactly how to progress. I knew what to do, what not to do, to build up to this amount of strength. So I'm actually grateful that I'm actually firing on all cylinders before the zombie apocalypse, changed everything. So I'm really glad now. It will at some point end. There are 2 ways that it's going to end. Either A, it's really going to be the zombie apocalypse, in which case money is not going to mean anything. We're going to run around with our dogs, or in my case, Garfield, my cat, and an M4 down the streets of fucking Manhattan, scavenging for fucking food, and society will collapse. In which case, who cares if my business broke down or not? Or the other thing is it's going to be over. I mean, at some point things are going to, move back up again. We're not going to be in self-isolation. The recession's not going to last forever, etc. So the point is, when this does end, when I do have access to a gym again, I'm going to be able to build up that much faster. I will maybe lose a little bit of strength, but it will build up faster. And I know that I can do it. It's no longer a question of whether I can do it. It's just a matter of how I can do it. And it will come faster the second time than it did the first time. Another thing I've been thinking about is everybody's in the same situation. Okay, this is kind of really important because this will apply to everyone. Everybody is in the same situation. There are some people out there with home gyms, but they had home gyms the whole time. Okay, so like they're at a certain level of development. They're at a certain business. Where they were at before. So what I'm basically trying to say is like a lot of people are stuck. Of any books about nutrition or training you suggest? Yeah, I'll get back to you in a second. But the point is like everybody's at the same situation, and not everybody can fail. There will be people that will come out of this stronger than others. Okay, so what I'm basically saying about that is something that I think I read in Think and Grow Rich back in the day, is that during the Depression, there were like more millionaires created during the worst financial times of the United States ever. There were more millionaires created than at any other time before or after. Okay, the absolute worst situation, the absolute worst time, there were more millionaires created than ever. And another thing that really kind of got me going is that there was also a one business that really thrived during the Depression was movies. Movies were just massive. Everybody involved in movies was making massive cash. And the reason why they're making massive cash is because everybody was so fucking miserable that they would take their last 25 cents, or, these days it's like $25 to go to the movies, but their last 25 cents, whatever, just to fucking sit in a theater and not think about how miserable their lives were. Just to sit in a theater and look at people running around in, princesses and castles and, pirates and, whatever the hell was back in the movies back during the, during the Depression. It was an escape. Like, this is my 25 cents that's going to go ahead and bring me an escape. And, you saw the news before and afterwards. So what I'm saying is, there are businesses that are made specifically for that because they give people hope. They give people, escape from their lives. And that's why movies were able to thrive at that point. So the point I'm trying to make is, what I was also thinking about, what I was also thinking about before the zombie apocalypse started was my membership site, which I always saw as being a place where people could kind of, come together. There's a forum. People could talk about their questions. They could, motivate each other, hold each other accountable. No fucking haters. It's not like some free forum or some, BS, comment section in YouTube where there are gonna be haters and internet trolls. It would be like just all people who are positive, and we would help each other. Plus, that would be my place to put out all kinds of information because, as a guy who makes courses, it's like a pain in the ass to make a course and then to go ahead and be like, having to make a sales page and, to market it. And then you got all these plates spinning, and it's much easier to just be like, hey, this is one place where you find all the information. If you have a question, hey, I'm going to go really in depth, make a giant course about, we'll teach you everything you need to know. And it was going to be more than diet and exercise. So what I'm thinking now is that more than ever, when people are scared, when people are at home, when people are looking at personal development, when people don't have a lot of money, getting something where you pay like just, a few dollars a month and you get all of, you get like this whole area, you have like this community plus you have all the information, is actually like the best bet, instead of me selling like a $5 million course on how to do whatever, stock trading or self-defense or whatever. It's like, this is just my place to put it in. So I'd rather have a whole bunch of people, for a lower price than a whole, than just a few people paying just millions of dollars for whatever. So like I said, so actually the business model that I had coming in here is actually pretty good for that as well. So, like I said, it's like, basically everybody's in this situation. It's just a matter of whether you're going to, come out of it on top or you're not going to come out of it on top. So, those are my plans. Like I said, I got my weights coming in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, be doing a lot more filming, okay? Right now, I don't have anybody to film me in the gym. It sucks. It's just like actually kind of a pain in the ass for other people if you're setting up a tripod in the gym, filming workouts and stuff. So, having a home gym is something that I need anyway. I will be doing a lot more workout videos and stuff for YouTube and Instagram. I'm going to be doing a lot more workout instructional videos and instructional products for the fraternity, which is my membership site. So actually, like I said, things are going to be coming out of here pretty well. There is no shortage of food, so everybody here can continue to diet, can continue to get in shape. And something that I also want to get into a lot too is, I mentioned this in the last live, but everybody can really, really get major success, again, get a really good fit body just by doing calisthenics. Because like I said, I lifted weights when I was a kid in my early 20s, went a couple decades without lifting weights at all. And then it was just body weights. My first workout was just plyometrics and jump rope. No equipment whatsoever. Then I wanted to build some muscle, so I got a pull-up bar and some rings. And I got big. I got big and strong and lean doing that. And then after that, I've added some weight to my calisthenics. So yes, as I went, I added more equipment. But you could get an incredible physical condition just with calisthenics. Okay, and I right now I've got a bunch of people I'm training online. One single one of my people that I train online actually goes to a gym. One single person. Everybody else works out at home. They got like a trap bar, a squat rack, a pull-up bar, a dip stand, and that's all they do. And they don't even notice it. Obviously, they notice it if like they go to the store, they can only buy one package of chicken or something like that. But aside from that, though, only one of my people has actually had a problem with doing his workouts because he used to go to a gym. And it's just for him, it's just basically his lower body workout. So I'm teaching him how to do pistol squats now. And, that's it. I mean, he was doing dips and pull-ups with no weight. He could still continue to do them. He was doing jump ropes, plyometrics. And like I said, all my other guys, they're working out at home in their home gym anyway. So like I said, there's no interruption. All right, so we had a question about a book to read about training and about nutrition. And so let me go ahead and just say, first of all, that one of my favorite books ever, okay, was Dinosaur Training. Okay, Dinosaur Training was an incredible book. It changed my life, okay, because when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, basically what I learned was from magazines, okay? It's just be like learning from Instagram these days. You see guys lifting weights, you're like, oh, that's what I got to do. It was basically just bodybuilding. And then this guy wrote this book called called Dinosaur Training, which was about old school style training, like from like the 1800s, the early 1900s, what strongmen did, circus strongmen, guys who just got up on stage and lifted heavy shit did. And that was actually, believe it or not, the beginning of a lot of stuff that's going around now. I mean, it was, that is a book you have to read. 20 rep squats were introduced to me there. Heavy movements, like 5 sets of 5 reps was introduced to me there. Grip training, thick bars, lifting sandbags, lifting kegs, all that stuff is addressed there. So for me, it's like not like the best course on how to do 20 rep squats, but I will tell you, it is the absolute best primer for a person who doesn't really know a lot about functional strength training. You have to read Dinosaur Training. That legitimately will change your entire life. Then after that, like I said, there are other books. Bill Starr wrote a book. I think it's called The Strongest Shall Survive. It's about like simple compound movements to train people to do football. It obviously can also be used for MMA, for just life, just being a strong fucking big guy in general. Um, Go ahead and pick up, I think it's called Super Squats, which is a book that's entirely about 20 rep squats. You take your 10 rep max, but you keep the bar on your back until you've done 20 reps. So for me, I'll do like 20 reps with 315. I'll do like 10 reps, and I'm getting good at it now, but I'll do 10 reps. It should be, kind of okay. And then I'll just like take a bunch of breaths. That's why they call them breathing squats, with the bar on my back. And then I'll go ahead and I'll do like, maybe 3, take a bunch of breaths, maybe 3, take a bunch of breaths, do 2 reps, take a breath, do 2 reps, take a breath, and that's my 20 reps. And I'm good at it now. Like I've been doing it for a while at 315. So, basically the point is you just do your 10 rep max, you just keep the bar on your back the whole time, and you increase the weight constantly. In super squats, they talk about nutrition. It's like, I'm not going to call it dirty bulking, but it's like a bulking diet he talks about. He also talks a lot about some other exercise, like basically how to build a whole routine based around 20 rep squats. That's an incredible book too. Those 3 books will put you in the proper mindset in terms of training, in terms of just like lifting heavy, getting stronger, good form, not doing huge amounts of volume, not doing little concentration curl exercises. That's my recommendation. In terms of learning about nutrition, without going ahead and plugging my own stuff here, what I will say is, I've been really impacted by Vince Gironda. He was the first person whose stuff I studied in terms of low carb, in terms of high fat, in terms of supplementation, fiber, psyllium husk. There's a lot of stuff that this guy was just an absolute genius. He knew everything. This guy, Vince Gironda, was the nutritionist. When Arnold Schwarzenegger won, I think, the Mr. Universe in England, he was invited to come down to Florida to compete again. And, he didn't do very well. He took like second place to Frank Zane, who weighed like 180 pounds, and he couldn't believe it. But Frank Zane was chiseled and he was like a little bit flat. So Weider, who paid him to come over and, come to America to compete, said, hey, you did really good. Zane was just in better shape than you, but, I want you to come to California. So he was like the first sponsored athlete in the history of the universe, where Joe Weider actually paid him to go to California, gave him, enough money to live on, just to train and, and pose for his, his commercials, his advertisements. And Joe Weider sent Arnold Schwarzenegger to Vince Gironda to learn how to get cut. Like he learned his diet from Vince Gironda. So that kind of gives you an idea of, the importance that Vince Gironda's principles played in training back in the 70s. So he's got a whole bunch of books. You can find a lot of his stuff online. He created the steak and eggs diet. There's a lot of stuff that you can get from Vince Gironda. There is a website, I think it's called the ironguru.com or something. They sell reprints of his books. I recommend you go there and check them out. If you go to like eBay or Amazon, his books are like massively expensive. But like I said, the Iron Guru, they offer his books for affordable prices. Another person that I suggest you check out is Rio Blair. Rio Blair created the first proper protein powder, the proper milk and egg protein. Before that, they would grind up fish, soybeans, stuff like that, sell it as protein powder. He created the first proper protein powder. He also created a lot of similar low carb, high fat diets. Okay, similar to Vince Gironda. So those are the guys that I suggest you go ahead and check out. And there's another guy who you might want to check out. I have like opposing views on a lot of things, but his name's Lyle McDonald. He wrote, I think, The Ultimate Diet 2.0. He wrote some kind of a book about the ketogenic diet. I think he wrote something about flexible dieting. But basically, I think it's The Ultimate Diet 2.0, and he also wrote another book that's basically the PSMF diet, okay, protein sparing modified fasting diet. Like I said, I don't necessarily see eye to eye with Lyle McDonald, but he does put out a lot of good information, and it's a good basis. So those are the books that I would start with. Lyle McDonald's books, Vince Gironda's books, Rio Blair didn't write books, but any information you can find about his nutrition. And as for training, dinosaur training is absolutely positively necessary. The Strong Cell Survive by Bill Starr, and Super Squats. Those are three good strength training books. So, anyway, so what are you guys been doing? Okay, has everybody been like training in the gym? Have people been training at home? Have people been training calisthenics? Have they been using weights? What exactly are people's goals? Because like I said, it's like I started out, I lost a whole lot of weight, which is plyometrics and burpees and jump rope intervals. I did not even use a pull-up bar, nothing. Got very, very lean. And I looked very muscular, not because I'd built up huge amounts of muscle, but because I was so lean, you could see every fiber that I had. Then, like I said, I wanted to get bigger, and I went ahead and I added in, pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, eventually ring dips, stuff like that. And then I got a lot bigger, and it was only very recent that I've actually added in weights. So I'm going to be posting a lot more about this in Instagram and the YouTube community tab. But like, you can build one hell of a body just with calisthenics and just with unweighted calisthenics. Because like I said in my last live video, not a lot of people can really do proper pull-ups. Not a lot of people can proper pull-ups means bar to your chest, whether it's a chin up or bar to your chest if you're doing parallel grip or whatever pull-ups. Full extension and do sets of 10. Not a lot of people can do that, And if you are able to do that, you have well-developed biceps and well-developed back, period. And like I said, the same thing. If you could do 20 dips, which a lot of people cannot do proper dips anyway, like proper down, proper full range of motion. If you can do dips, let's say 20 reps on the bars, you can probably do half as many on rings. Okay, rings changes everything. Everybody who watches my videos, who has done online training with me, anything, whatever, who has bought rings, they tell me that rings completely changed their lives. Doing push-ups on the floor, even doing push-ups on blocks where you get a larger range of motion, doing dips, if you do those movements on rings, it is an absolutely completely different situation. It completely changes everything, because you have to, it's not just a matter of leaning on the bar and pushing up and down. You have to actually balance yourself all the way down and all the way up. So, like I said, if somebody actually is stuck in the zombie apocalypse, if somebody actually does not have, a gym, just getting a pull-up station where you can do pull-ups and getting some rings to hang from them, you'll be able to build up an incredible body. In terms of getting lean, okay, let me just say something, that it's really a lot easier to get lean when you're doing bodyweight calisthenics than it is when you're doing anything with weights. Fitness goal is Brad Pitt's Troy appearance. That's very interesting. There's a guy who he does a video on YouTube. He calls himself More Plates, More Dates. He did something. I don't like these, natty or not videos, because they're usually a bunch of guys complaining, but I think he closely isn't that impressive. Yeah, okay, exactly. See, the thing is, basically this guy, has admitted to being on steroids himself, so he'll go ahead and he'll talk about different people, like whether they're on gear or not, and he's basically talking about like the way that Brad Pitt used to look, like he was very lean by nature. He has a decent amount of muscle by nature, and he says he wasn't really that big, like you should say, wasn't that impressive in in Troy. He wasn't exactly huge. But so like I said, but they are iconic physiques, especially Brad Pitt's Fight Club physique. And like I said, I think that I was bigger than Brad Pitt in Fight Club, and all I did was calisthenics. Like I said, I burpees, plyometrics, jump rope intervals. That's all I did. Not even pull-ups, and not even dips, no ring dips, no push-ups, nothing. It was just plyometrics and everything. And like I said, I basically just went on a diet and got very cut, and you could just see all the muscle I had. And I think I was bigger than he was. Okay, so Brad Pitt's Fight Club physique is certainly very attainable. And as in terms of his Troy physique, like I said, this guy did a really good job of breaking down, more plates, more dates, did a really good job of breaking down his physique, in Troy. And he's like, he basically put on a little bit of fat and maybe a little bit of muscle. He's like maybe 5 pounds of muscle more than he had in Fight Club. And then, a little bit of fat on top of that. So he just looked bigger. Started doing cardio and stretching at home, nothing too hardcore. My goal is to lose some fat and tighten up. Yeah, you could certainly tighten up at home. Definitely. Just with diet and burpees. What I would recommend, I'll get to this in a second. But anyway, so like Troy, you could certainly, if like I said, if you get to the point where you're doing like proper pull-ups, like all the way up, bringing the bar to your chest, okay, and just full extension at the top, and you could do like 4 sets of 5, then build it up to 4 sets of 10. If you can do that, you are strong. If you can do ring dips, sets of like 10, 15 reps, you have, you've accomplished something. Like that's an accomplishment. You will have a great physique. As a matter of fact, there's something I'm going to post earlier today. Ethan, what's up? There's something I'm going to post later today that shows just calisthenics bulking, just calisthenics cutting. Okay, some physiques that I've had. Because like I keep saying, when I train a person, one of the questions I ask is, what do you want to look like? What's a goal? Show me a picture. And, sometimes they'll show Southpaw, Creed, son of Creed, stuff like this. But a lot of times it'll be like a picture of me back before I even lifted weights. Or like, I want to look like that. And that was just purely, pure protein diet, a low carb, lean bulking diet, alternating between the two, and pull-ups and stuff like that. All right, so the guy says he wanted to go ahead and he wanted to, do some calisthenics at home, nothing too hardcore. He wanted to lose some fat. What I would personally do is I have an app on my phone that's free. It's a free interval timer app that I use. And I get a jump rope, and that's it. And what I would do is I would do burpees every couple days. Okay. Yeah, okay. So anyway, first of all, so what I would do is I would do, say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would do burpees, okay? Just go ahead. I'll be posting videos about how to do some of these things. But basically a burpee is you squat down, touch your hands to the ground, kick your feet back, do a push-up, bring your feet back up, and jump up as high as you can. That's 1 rep. I would do, let's say, 10 reps, take a 30-second break. Go ahead and just do that, and then I do like 4 sets. I do that for a couple weeks. Then I go ahead and start building up more. So that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would just do burpees. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I would just do jump rope intervals. Okay, so I do like, let's say, 5 sets of 1 minute with 15 seconds break in between the jump rope intervals. That will build an incredible amount of power that would burn an incredible amount of calories. Because when you think about it, like every time you do a burpee, you're doing a jumping squat. Every time you do a burpee, you're doing a push-up. So if you do 10 sets of 10 eventually, that's 100 jump squats and 100 push-ups that you're doing, 3 times a week. Not to mention on top of that, like I said, you're doing, let's say you build it up to 20 minutes, like a half an hour total, but 20 minutes without the rest intervals of jump rope. You're going to be building incredible endurance. You're also going to be burning incredible calories. You can get very lean doing something like that. And that's like maybe 15, minutes to half an hour a day, 6 days a week. Okay. And all you have to do is use a free app, the floor for the burpees, and a $10 jump rope. All right. Thanks. Gotcha. Good. Okay, somebody asked if you could use like other types of seeds as opposed to almonds. On the pure protein diet, basically what you do is you eat protein and you get about 30% of your calories from fat. Okay, so it's like Lyle McDonald, I was talking about the PSMF, protein sparing modified fasting diet, is literally a medically curated, medically observed starvation diet for very obese people. And basically, what you do is you just eat nothing but protein. And I disagree with that because that is like not necessarily detrimental to your health, but it's hard to keep like your mind going. It's hard to not be tired all the time. It's hard to work out in the gym and stuff when you're on the PSMF diet. So my pure protein diet, I didn't even know about the PSMF diet when I created the pure protein diet, but the pure protein diet, basically what you do is you take in more fat, which means you can stay on it longer, you can live a better life, you're less annoying to the people around you, you get better workouts in the gym, etc. when you're on the pure protein diet than straight PSMF. So what you do is you eat protein all day. I use chicken, and then you add some meals, you add some fat. I use almonds. Okay. Now, you do not have to eat chicken. Okay. You have to eat something that's extremely lean. Chicken is the best because, 200 grams measured raw of chicken is like 47 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, 0 carbs. So you need to find something that has similar macros. You could go ahead. A lot of people, that I train use tuna. Okay, I can't eat that much tuna. I just do not like it. I could eat chicken all day. I cannot eat that much tuna, but they can. So they go ahead and they have tuna instead of chicken. And where this guy's question was whether or not you can add hazelnuts, different other types of nuts. All you have to do is look at your macronutrient requirements. There was a time when I could not get almonds for some reason, and I took like Spanish peanuts. They were like whole Spanish peanuts, and I would just basically looked up the macronutrients on them, and I just measured a certain amount, and with maybe 3 of my meals, I'd have like 3 meals of chicken breast and 3 meals of chicken with fat added, and like I said, I use Spanish peanuts for my fat source. So, like I said, there's no reason you cannot use something else. You just need to make sure that it does not have too many carbs. You just need to make sure you get the same amount of fat that you need. But you can add anything in. I mean, I've done the steak and the pure protein diet by having chicken and adding in whole eggs as a fat source. You get a little bit more protein, and you get a fat source from whole eggs. So anyway, that's what that's like I said, something you can do. I mean, I've got a lot of guys that like macadamia nuts instead of almonds. Macadamia nuts are probably some of the best nuts you can use. They're almost pure fat, very low carbs, very low protein. So they're something that if you added into a meal, you're adding like pure fat. They're also among the most expensive, and they're also sometimes difficult to get a hold of at all. So, like, yeah, if you can afford macadamia nuts, if you like macadamia nuts, you can certainly use them, and they're probably better than almonds. But like I said, I usually just use chicken and almonds because that's something that almost everybody has access to, and that's almost everything that it's you can get that will work well. One of the strongest old men on the planet. Yeah, that was my goal. My goal was to be a strong ass old man. It's funny because, like I said, before the zombie apocalypse started, legs have always been my weak point, and I've had young 20-year-old kids walking up to me asking me why how I was training my legs, how I got so strong, how what my workout was like, what my diet was like, and I'm like, damn, I'm 45, you got a 25-year-old over here asking you what you do for your legs, and like I said, just a couple years ago, my legs were my weakest body part, so. Like I said, it's like the zombie apocalypse came at the proper time. But the positive thing is, once again, that I know what I can do. I know what I can do. And, it's just like they keep saying about people who, you build up a fortune, and then for some reason, whatever, your fortune collapses, and those same people will build up another fortune. Whereas somebody who's, broke will win the lottery, and then he'll be broke again shortly after. So like I said, it's like I know what I can do in terms of getting strong. I know how to get strong. So whatever little bit I do lose during the zombie apocalypse, before I get my weights and everything set up at home, like I said, I'm going to be able to build it back up again. So whatever. But yeah. So what else we got for questions here? Got because like I said, okay, so somebody else said something about, he said, I read his mind when I was talking about the Southpaw physique. Legs weren't my strongest body, can't say the same. My strong body parts are traps, leg, and lats. Yeah, traps, leg, and lats. Yeah, that they became traps, leg, and lats. I built my traps, leg, and lats up too by doing trap bar deadlifts. You just build up your traps and your legs, and believe it or not, actually it does hit your lats, because if you do enough trap bar deadlifts, you'll feel it the next day. You'll feel it like in parts of your body you didn't expect it. Your traps will be killing you, and your lats will also be interesting. But anyway, so yeah, so had a guy ask me about the southpaw physique. Like I said, it's like I don't really get a whole lot of people, and this is probably because of me. I mean, I'm not Mr. Olympia, so I don't have anybody asking me how to become Mr. Olympia. But I do get a whole lot of people asking me about how to get, like I said, like southpaw, the Creed's son physique like that. A lot of times you hear this from women. Okay, a lot of women do not like big bodybuilders. A lot of women, they like, once again, who are the sexiest people on earth? Brad Pitt in Fight Club, southpaw, people like that. So like I said, it's like for the people who really do not think that you can build a good body in isolation with calisthenics, it's like I say, if you push that to the absolute limit, you'll have an incredible body. I keep telling this. Like I said, I have a couple of personal training clients who want to lose a lot of weight. They're asking what it's going to be like for them, when they lose the weight. And I keep telling them, if you get lean enough to see your muscles, okay, and all you really do is just, like I said, master calisthenics exercises, which is not crazy. Like I said, 4 sets of 10 pull-ups with proper form, bringing the bar all the way up to your chest is enough to get like an incredible physique that's like way over that a lot of people couldn't even imagine having. Now, let's say you do want to bring it to the next level like I did. If you could do 4 sets of 10 pull-ups with absolute proper form, if you could do, sets of 10 or 20 dips on rings, your body is just primed to go ahead and throw on the weight, drop the reps down, and bring it to the next level. Okay? Because like I said, it's like when I went from doing like ring dips for like sets of probably like close to 20, okay, which is really difficult. It would be like doing 40, 50, bar dips. And then when I went back to bar dips, dropped my reps down to 5, the weight went on quickly. I was using 2 plates, 90 pounds really quickly because I just had so much strength build up from the calisthenics. The same thing happened to me when I built up my 5 rep squats. I was doing sets of 20 reps with 315 pounds. And then I went ahead to doing 5 sets with a plate, 5 sets with 2, 5 sets with 3 plates. And then I was building up on the last 2 sets, 5 reps up to doing, actually visually it was sort of progression to use 5 plate deadlift. Okay, so anyway, so like I said, what I was doing is I went ahead and I was doing like 5 reps with 315 as my last warm up. And I was doing 20 reps with breaks, leaving the bar on my back. But you can imagine how easy it was for me to build from 315 for 5 reps up to 405 by 5 reps. Okay, it was obviously very difficult. It took a long time, but the fact of the matter was the base that I created by doing 20 rep squats with 315 made it that much easier to get up to 5 reps at 405. Doing dips on rings made it so much easier for me to go ahead and build up. And maybe to go ahead and build up and set up, doing weighted dips and stuff like that. Do I have donations set up? No. Well, that's a very nice thing. No, I don't. I don't do donations, and I'm not going to do one of those things. What's it called, Patreon or whatever. But like I said, what I am building up is like I said, I've got the Anaerobixx Fraternity out now at the Anaerobixxfraternity.com. And what that is like I said, that's where I'm going to be putting all of my information. All my diets are in there. You don't drip feed. You don't get it one at a time. You get all of the diets, all the workouts, all the information. The information I'm creating in the future, the products are all going to go straight into the fraternity. There's going to be a forum. The forum's curated by me, so you have some direct access to me. So that's basically, like I said, where I'm going to get, to monetize. But I appreciate the offer, but no, I don't do that donation thing on YouTube or whatever. Okay, so somebody asked about what my progression was for the 5 plate deadlift. What I did, and this is a part, once again, of a program that's going to be coming out for the fraternity. It's basically just how to build strength and therefore size. Cardio. Okay, 1 second. So basically, what I do is what I would do is I would basically do 5 sets of 5. Okay, 5 sets of 5 reps, and every time I hit a milestone, I would turn that into a warm-up set. So like let's say you do 5 sets of 5 reps with one plate. Okay, fine. Then from the next workout, I would add a 2.5 pound plate to each side of the bar, okay, for the next four. So it'd be like a warm up with one plate, then it would be 4 sets of 5 with a plate and a 2.5 on each side. And I would just go ahead and every workout, doing this workout twice a week, I would go ahead and add a 2.5 to each side. So at some point, I would bring it up to 2 plates. So it'd be 5 sets with one plate, then it would be 5 sets with 2 plates. Those are warm ups, and then I'd add a 2.5 to the last three, and I'd go on and on and on. And then eventually, it got to the point where I was doing a warm up with 1, 2, 3, 4 plates, and one heavy work set with 5 plates. So as you see, the point to this kind of thing is you do more heavy sets in the beginning when you're using light weights, but as you get stronger and as you increase the weight you use on each set, you're going to reduce the number of heavy sets you do. Okay, so like back in the day, one plate was heavy, you're doing 5 sets with this heavy weight, but then after a while you're doing like a warm up with 1, 2, 3 plates, and then you're doing 2 heavy sets with 4 plates. Okay, so like I said, that's basically basically the cliff notes on how I did that. Now that I'm used to be at that weight, what I'm doing is I'm increasing the volume once again. So basically, it's like you start off with 5 sets of 5, and then every time you hit a milestone, one plate, you reduce the amount of work sets. Then when you get to your goal weight, you start adding in again. So my goal was basically to do 1, 2, 3, 4 plates with 5 reps as a warm up, then do 5 sets of 5 with 5 plates. That was like my end of life huge, on the horizon goal. So I hope you understand that when you're getting stronger, you reduce the amount of heavy sets you do, and then when you're strong, you increase the amount of heavy sets you do. Because I do not think it is healthy to lift beyond a certain point. I do not think that it's healthy, to lift like 10 trillion pounds. I think it's just asking to destroy your joints and your ligaments. Now, if you want to be a professional power lifter, Olympic lifter, whatever, strongman, yes, you have to. And you also are a moron if you don't know in the back of your head. Otherwise, you'll end up like Ronnie Coleman, exactly. You have to know in the back of your head you're going to end up like Ronnie Coleman. I mean, this is once again something that I'm building into that program that I'm creating for the fraternity, where how you determine what your goal weight should be to use on different exercises, because this first came out years ago. I was reading a magazine and a guy said basically like when he was in college he would do like Olympic lifting, and he's like, your body is not meant to take 300 pounds, throw it in the air and catch it with your hands over your head. And he had problems with his with his vertebrae because of that. And he's like, the human body was not meant to catch 300 pounds overhead and hold it there. And, so like there is a point where lifting weights will make you stronger, will increase the strength of your joints, will increase the strength of your tendons and ligaments. And then there's also the point where it's going to be too much, you're going to be grinding things down. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to catch the point where you're as strong as you can get without causing damage. And, like brother just said right here, otherwise you're going to end up like Ronnie Coleman, There are a lot of people, who are very strong who broke their bodies down because of that. So, like I said, you got to find, for me, okay, for the people who think like me, where you want to live your best life, you want to look good, you want to be healthy, you want to age well, you want to be strong going into your, into your later years. It makes sense to get to that point where you're as strong as you can get without being too strong, without causing injuries. The guy asked, okay, did I do any other exercises for my legs? Okay, so what I did was I would do, I did one-legged pistol squats. I had a goal to do 2 sets of 5 with a 100-pound dumbbell in my hand. So I would do a 50-pound dumbbell. I would do 5 pistol squats. That's a one-legged squat with each leg. Then I do 5 with a 75-pound dumbbell. Okay. And then I would do 2 sets of 5 with a 100-pound dumbbell. At some point, I realized, just like I was talking about, that that's more like a circus exercise. It's more like, just kind of like, I was doing an exercise, like, does this really have a point to it, or am I just doing something for the sake of it? I'm very proud of myself. I'm very glad I built up to 2 sets of 5 reps with a 100-pound dumbbell for pistol squats. That's something that was awesome. But the point is, like I said, it's like there's I think at that point I realized I was just doing something just for the sake of it, so it's like, what I ended up doing, what I ended up continuing to do was I would do my one set of 20 rep squats, okay, and then I would do five sets of deadlifts. Now at the point where I added in the 5 rep squats, so I would do warm up with 1, 2, 3 plates, and then I would do 2 sets of 5 with 4 plates for squats. Then I would rest 5 minutes, and I would do my 20 rep squats with 315, which are that much harder because obviously I just done all these 5 rep squats. I was completely wasted. I could not do the trap bar anymore. So what I did is when I got to that level, and this was only like the last week or two before the zombie apocalypse closed the gyms. But what I did is I broke up at that point when I added in the 5 rep squats. I broke up my workout to squats on Tuesday and deadlifts on Friday. So like I said, I would do 3 warm-up sets and 2 heavy sets with 5 reps, then my 20 rep squats. And my plan was to build it up to do 1, 2, 3 plates and then 5 sets with 4 plates of squats, and then do my 20 rep squats. So that would be my quote heavy workout. Then my quote light workout would be 1, 2, 3, 4 plates for 5 reps with a trap bar, and then 5 sets of 5 reps with 5 plates. So that was my plan going forward. So once again, I'm kind of decreasing the frequency of the workouts. Okay, going from deadlifting and squatting twice a week to deadlifting and squatting each once a week. But the volume, I mean, doing, heavy ass weights and doing set after set, obviously, is a completely different than when you start off, you're doing very few sets with very little weight. So anyway, those were my goals going forward. Somebody said something about The Witcher. The Witcher is somebody else. Somebody else who was in some movies. I don't remember who it was. I remember seeing some. I don't really watch a lot of TV, but I do remember seeing YouTube videos talking about this guy's physique. And is it the guy who played Superman, Henry Cavill? I think it's Henry Cavill, I think, is the one who played that. I don't really think it would take 7 years to get The Witcher's physique. Okay, like I said, I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure it's Henry Cavill. I'm pretty sure it's the guy who played Superman who does The Witcher now. But do not underestimate how fit you can get in 1 year. Okay, do not underestimate how fit you can get in 1 year. A lot of it has to do with how much you can see. It's not just a matter of whether you're actually fit and in shape. A lot of it is just how much muscle you can actually see. So you get a lot of these things where, like, once again, we were just talking before about how Frank Zane is one of the few people to beat Arnold Schwarzenegger. He beat him at the Mr. Universe in Miami because he was like 20, 30, 40 pounds lighter, but he was chiseled. He was like ripped. He was shredded. Whereas, Arnold Schwarzenegger was smooth. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was a lot bigger. He had a lot more muscle. But, even in the bodybuilding competition, Frank Zane won because, like I said, he was lean. So it's always a matter of what you see and not what you actually have. Okay, first of all. And second, like I said, you can also get really, you make most of the progress you're going to make in the first year or so anyway. So like I said, I don't think it would take 7 years to get this guy's physique. Another thing that's very interesting is you don't really know what you want until you actually get it. So for me, for instance, when I was younger, I wanted to look like a calisthenics guy. I wanted to be a calisthenics guy. I wanted to look like a gymnast. Okay, I would actually look at gymnasts and look at their bodies. And when I got to the point where I was actually pretty lean and I was actually pretty strong and pretty defined, I realized that I wanted to bring it to another level again. So basically, like when I first started, I wanted to look like the Ninja Assassin guy, and I think I surpassed him. I think I was at least as lean, and I think I was bigger than he was. Then I wanted to get bigger, so I went ahead and I was like, I want to look like a gymnast, a street workout guy, Hannibal for King, or someone like that. So I went ahead and I just started lifting, myself, and basically doing lots of pull-ups, lots of dips, lots of ring work and stuff like that. And like I said, I got a lot bigger, and I was still pretty lean. And then at some point, I decided I just wanted to get bigger. Okay, so you might right now think you want to have this huge hulking physique like The Witcher, and you might start doing calisthenics and realize, hey, that's where you want to stay. You might realize, hey, you feel good. You don't have to, spend a lot of, money buying a giant gym. You could just do your pull-ups, your chin-ups, and your rows, and your dips, and your ring work, and your push-ups on the rings, and etc. You could do that stuff at home, and you wouldn't have to have a problem with it. You wouldn't have to worry about anything else, and but you might think that you do not want to get as big as you wanted to. So basically, it's like I said, just go ahead and start off doing something, form a basis, and then afterwards, you'll find out where you want to go from then on. Okay. So anyway, both of my phones are kind of dying now, which is awesome. What I'd like to do is I want to do these live videos every single day, and at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So what I'd like you to do is I'm going to go ahead and post right after this, like what you guys want to talk about tomorrow. So go ahead, and when you see that, okay, on Instagram or in my YouTube community, just go ahead and just post a comment, whatever you wanted to talk about in the next video. Because like I said, I'd like to talk basically at the beginning of the video, I like to talk about a subject and basically discuss that, and then we could do a Q&A towards the end. But like I said, I really like to talk about a particular subject every day, just at the beginning. So anyway, like I said, I appreciate you guys coming in. Keep your heads up. Okay, we're going to make it through this. Some people are going to win and some people are going to lose. So as long as you don't give up, you can become one of the few people who comes out as a winner at the end of the zombie apocalypse. Like I said, more millionaires were made during the Great Depression than any other time. And of all places, they were made in the movies. The movies were very successful. They made millions of dollars because people wanted to fucking escape. So there is a way to get through this. There is a way to come out stronger. And speaking of come out stronger, like I said, I mean, calisthenics will build you an incredible body. If you spend the rest of the time you are in self-quarantine just doing calisthenics, you will have an amazing, incredible body when you come out just in time for summer. I don't even know, is summer canceled this year? We'll see. If the zombie apocalypse is over in time for summer, we'll definitely be able to get in shape for summer using just calisthenics. All right, anyway, like I said, when you see later on today, guys, YouTube community and Instagram feed asking what you want to talk about tomorrow, just leave a comment and know what you guys want to talk about. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the next live video.